Hi, and welcome. I'm Debbie from Debbie's Rusty Brush, and I am a giddy hen. Today, what we're going to do is take a quick tour of my creative space. It is pretty small, and it houses a lot of different projects for me to do. So it is my art studio, my crafting space, my sewing space, my woodworking space. It also has some storage for other areas of our home in this room. So it is small and it's important that it be organized. So I have some pegboard, I have some good organization in place, but I have some paints that will not go onto pegs. And so today we're going to make a shelving spot on my pegboards to get this paint up behind me, so that it's organized, but it's up out of the way and it's easy and reachable. So come along with me as we take a quick tour, and then we'll get to building some shelves. Here is my craft space. I use this for crafting, for painting, for woodworking, just about anything that I do. So this is my pegboard. I have my paints hung up over here and a lot of crafting stuff here. I have this paint here on this small dresser that houses my skill saw, and I want to get it off of there so that that is clean and clear, and I can use that space for something else. So I've cleared up a space over here on this pegboard that we will put up shelves so that we can move my DIY chalk paint over there where it's handy, yet out of the way and displayed nicely. So that is what our project today will be, and we'll continue with that and get that all over there. As you can see, my room is a little bit of a mess right now, but I have my tools here. I have a closet. The closet needs to be finished, and we'll have a barnwood style door there. I have a desk here that houses my drill press, and those drawers have some excess storage in them, as well as the dresser that's over here. It's actually a buffet, has paint storage and some other storage in that top drawer. I have a lot of fabric storage because I do sew in here, in that chest of drawers. This is my sewing desk, sewing machine, and so I have another machine that sits on top when I'm sewing. And then there is my desk that I use for my projects. At this point, I worked on a painting last night. The front of the desk, I have my dog. There's my dog. I have craft paint, which I have made a PVC pipe holder for. And then I just have jars with different doodads, buttons and tongue depressors and keychains and some thread there. On this side, well, in the middle here, I am in the middle of a project using my big cutting mat, but that goes there. And then I have some ribbons and other doodads over here on this side. A sliding glass door provides a lot of light, natural light, so I like that. I have my TV over here sitting on a dresser. Sorry for all the dust. Sitting on a dresser, and that dresser is full of other crafting stuff. And I have the TV for when I'm doing something, I just want to watch something mindless. This room, unfortunately, has to do several purposes. So here is our backup fridge. Takes up a lot of room. Wish I didn't have to have it here, but unfortunately that's where it's at. And our bedroom has no actual closet, so we have these wardrobes and only one of them fit in there, so my wardrobe is here, and I have some totes on top that carry other crafting supplies. So also you've got this wood back here and this wood back here. I'm in the process of making new cabinet doors for my kitchen, and so this is the wood for that. So a lot goes on in this little room, and it needs to be, there's our bedroom, and it needs to be as organized as possible. So we're going to work on getting that paint up on our pegboard. Okay, so this is the area that I've cleaned off that we're going to make some short shelves for. So we just need to measure how long we need our wood to be. All right, we're going to go with 14 inches. So we're going to head outside now, and we're going to measure and cut our wood and sand our wood. Hi, okay, we're outside now. I've lined up the wood here on this little table. We're going to measure it, and we're going to make a few cuts. So I'm going to turn you down now. It's going to get a little loud, but this is where we're at. Okay, so I've made sure that they butt up all even, and we're going to measure from that end out 14 inches. And then we're going to lay our level across at that 14-inch mark. Make sure all our boards are even. And we're going to do just mark this here at the 14-inch mark. Now that those are marked, we're just going to turn that piece of wood around so that we have the short end that we're cutting off out on the end. And I'm using a Black & Decker saw here, and so we're just going to run that jigsaw down all 3 pieces of board so that they're all even. Yep, sorry about that. Now that we've got all of our cuts done, we're going to get the little palm sander out, and we're going to sand our wood, make sure our edges are all nice and finely sanded, and that we don't have any rough areas, and then we'll take them in and stain them. So let's get the sander all hooked up. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, so now we have our sander all plugged in and ready to go. It's just a little Black & Decker mouse sander, and we're just going to go down both edges of our wood on both sides. We're going to make sure that we don't have any rough edges. If there's any dirt or imperfections along here, and there will be some knots and stuff, it's just the soft pine, but we want to get that sanded as best as we can on all 3 of these boards. And then we'll go in and we're gonna glue this one. I'll put some glue in there because it does have a crack, what we're going to be keeping on it is not that heavy, so I think it'll be fine. So we're going to go ahead and use it, but we will sturdy it up with a little bit of glue. All right, so I'm going to sand this and then we'll meet you back inside. Okay, so now that we're back inside, we're just going to put a little stain on there and let that cure a little bit, and then we'll put some clear coating on, and then we'll be ready to hang up our shelves. So I'm going to tilt you down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have our 3 boards cut here. This one I am going to go ahead and put a little bit of wood glue in. I only have 2, yeah, maybe we won't. Okay, we'll work on that later. I will put wood glue in this and I will stain this, but we'll just do that a little later. At the moment, we only got in enough of the pegboard shelf brackets to do 2 shelves. So this is fine. So we are going to use this chestnut Minwax gel stain. I'm just going to stir it up here a little bit with a tongue depressor. Now, I do suggest that you wear gloves when you work with this. I am only going to be wearing the 1 glove. Just because they're hard to get these days, and our health workers need them more than I do, so I'm being very sparing with them. I'm also just going to use a paper towel. I'm going to dip it in there, and I'm just going to rub this on the top of this and down the edges, trying to keep my other hand clean as I can. And we'll get it down this edge. Let it sit there a little bit. Get it on both of these edges. And these cut edges I got as smooth as I could, but they do have a little bit of a tooth to them, so it takes a little to get it down in there. All right, so I'm just going to let that kind of sit there and soak that up some, and we'll do the other one. It'll be easier to do these sides and edges before I do all of the top. So let's get that done. Get this edge here. All right. And then we're just gonna get it all over the top here. Now I will do the underside of these boards as well, because I want that nice dark stain to be on both sides so that when you look up from underneath, they're finished. So I'm going to take my clean paper towel here and just wipe it back. We'll wipe back all the edges. And then we'll do this one. Now, stain is hard to get off of your skin, and typically you would use a solvent to do that, but I have found I don't like the harshness of a solvent, which is why I like to use the gloves. But I have found that if I use olive oil, that it will take the majority of the stain out. All right, so we're going to flip it over, and then we'll stain this other side here. I am going to start by putting a little more stain on this edge. It didn't absorb the way I would have liked it to. Maybe I didn't get it sanded well enough. All right, so we're just going to stain this edge here, this side. Get a good coating on there and let it sit for a little bit. Okay, and then do this one. Now I do have the sliding glass door here, so I have some ventilation, because you would want to do this either outside or in a well-ventilated area. All right, now I have that done, and I am going to grab another couple paper towels to wrap this paper towel in, and then I won't throw it in the garbage in the house because it can become combustible, and I don't want to burn down our house. So now we're just going to wipe this off. Wipe this off. And then we're going to let it sit and just cure for a little while, and then we'll come back and we'll put a clear coat over it, so that it's easy to clean and get the dust off. All right. And this too will not be thrown in the garbage in our home. All right, so at that point, we'll take the glove off, and if you grab a hold of your towel or whatever you did to put it on with, and when you take your glove off, you can just get that all inside where you don't have to deal with it on the outside. All right, so I'm going to leave it there, and we'll be... Okay, we're back. I let the gel stain cure, and I have put a couple of coats of this polyacrylic on the underside, and I am getting ready to put my second coat of polyacrylic on the top side. Let's see, get that down here. And once that is on and dried, then we can set our shelves up. Just going to put a quick coat. This will be the third coat on the top. I want the top to have that little bit extra protection. It's going to be the one that gets the product scuffing around on it, as well as the dust that will need to be taken off. So we want the top to be just a little bit more protected than the bottom. So I'm going to put this third coat on. All right. Wash my brush out. Put all the polyacrylic away. Now we're going to let this cure and so that it has a nice protective coat on it. It is a matte finish, so, and it's crystal clear, so it's going to not be shiny really, but it will add that nice protective coat to it and make it easier to clean and look a little better. All right, we will be back just as soon as these dry and we'll get our shelves put up. Okay, so now that our boards are dry and ready to be put up, we've got some pegboard hooks, and we're going to put this first shelf down just as far as we can. And so we want to get our hooks in there, and we'll put our board on, and yeah, we can still get those out. Okay, and then we have to put a product up here so that we know where our next one can go to. All right. Let's go a little bit higher than that. And that can go underneath. That can still go underneath. Okay. So let's go right here. Okay. So we've got our second one in there, and we're just going to put this up like that. Putting them all the way to the end, and then we just have our paint to put over here. We can stack them 2 deep. Okay, and then when we get our third shelf up there, we will have all of the storage that we need for our DIY paint. And so now it's all sitting behind me, and it's easy to reach and pull down when I need it. And it looks good. It's off the dresser that we saw earlier, and it will be convenient here. And I'll have a little bit of room to grow once I get that other shelf in here. So that is going to work perfectly. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I am glad we got that project done, and hopefully this isn't too chopped up. I'm going to attempt my first job at editing before uploading this video. And this is the first video that I am doing for YouTube. So I appreciate anybody that watched and hung out with me today. And I will be back with another project or another art project soon. I haven't figured out my production schedule yet, but I hope to get at least 1, if not 2 videos up a week on different things. Please like and subscribe, if for nothing else, to see me grow as my comfort level gets better on camera, as my editing gets better, as my filming gets better, and hopefully you can take this journey with me. And I appreciate your time today.